Hello and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I'm going to be pruning up my Central Park landscape, and boy does it need it. Let's start by getting an overview. The moss is looking pretty terrible. I had it in the sun and the moss was growing on the north side of this little hill, but not on the side that had been facing the sun. So I've got it in shade now, and that's where I'm going to leave it and see if I can't get this moss to look any better before the end of the season. Okay, today I'm going to be cleaning up this landscape and pruning up the trees, trying to keep the leaves nice and small and trying to keep the canopy in check. All right, so let's start with this tree, which is the first tree you encounter if you look at this landscape the way I like to look at it, which is in this direction. So we did get some bifurcation here. I'm going to cut it back to the first leaf on this one. I'm going to cut it back to the first set of leaves on this one, and to the first set of leaves on this one. These did not bifurcate, but I'm hoping they will. I'm going to take out the little leaves right in the crotch of this branch. Trim a pruning stub. And how do I want this branch to grow? I would like it to grow down in this direction, so I'm going to prune it here. This branch, which I do like, I would love for it to bifurcate. So I'm going to go down to the next two sets of leaves, the first two sets of leaves, and maybe I'll get something coming out that way. This branch also is a little bit long. I'm going down to the first leaf, or the second leaf. It had bifurcated down there. Moving up on the tree, you've got this leaf, this branch rather. It did bifurcate. One is going straight up. I'd like that to start shooting out, so I'm going to cut down to an outward facing leaf there. And I'm hoping I get another flush. I may not. It is kind of late in the season. This grew in the direction I wanted it to grow, but it's too long. So I'll cut that there. Now, moving up, this branch is starting to interfere. I'm going to cut it to here, and maybe it'll straighten out in this direction. This branch, I'll cut to here. Down here, this is kind of nice. I'm just going to cut the growing tip off of that. I want the overall height of this tree to be about here. So cutting to an outward facing leaf there. One here. And I think I want to go down further with this one. Which way do I want this branch to grow? I'm going to cut this one down to here. This is growing in toward the tree. I'm going to try and encourage it to grow up a little bit. Cut off some of these leaves that are dying off. I'd have to pluck them out. Okay, moving on to this branch, which bifurcated. Cut off a stub there. Cut it off here. And cut it off here. This one's getting a little thick. I'm going to cut it here. Maybe something will grow out this way. This one did bifurcate. Oh. Here's one of those little grasshoppers. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. I'm pretty sure these guys munch. Don't know where he went. Just want to cut this branch down to here. And that has this tree pretty much pruned up. Not like in this branch here. And cut this one back a little bit more. And I'm going to cut this one back a little bit more. And this one. Okay, that's got that tree pruned up. Very nice. Okay, moving on to this tree. This one I'm going to start at the apex. I want this tree a little bit taller. Cut the pruning stub off of this. It bifurcated, but one went into the tree, so I'm going to take that off. Remove these yellow leaves. And I'll take this one down to here. This is coming over nicely. There's a pruning stub in there. Let's see, I'll prune this one back to here. This one back to here. That one to there. This is the last tree I'll do real time, and the rest I'll do in time lapse. I know it's hard to see. All right, this didn't grow after I pruned it, so I'm going to prune it back a little harder. I'm going to prune this one back to here. This is going to prune back to the second leaf. Pruning stub. Back to there. To here. To here. To there. To the first outward leaf. Let's see. I'm going to go to here. To there. It's got a little bit of a tangle in here. It's like a dual leader. I kind of like it. It's complex. But maybe too complex. I think I'm going to take this whole thing off. Pruning stub. Pruning stub. It did bifurcate, which is nice. I'm going to take this one down to here. This one to there. And this tall one to there. I got a little branch here to take down. And that's got this tree almost all pruned up. Okay. Okay, moving on to this tree right here. I want it to be about the same height as this one. It bifurcated here, which is nice. I'm going to take it to there. To there. Some new growth happening here. This one is growing in the wrong direction. Take that right off. That'll let more light in here. Got some overlap happening here. Take a branch right off. A little branch happening there. Got 3 branches coming from one spot here. Actually 4. Do I need this one? I kind of do. I like this branch. I want to take it back a little bit. These little branches that are growing, they're more like suckers. Okay. This one I'm taking to here. Take this one to here. This one's growing in a funny direction. I'm going to take it right off. This one I'm going to shorten. This bifurcated here, which is very nice, but I'm going to shorten that. Shorten this. Shorten that. And prune this back to the second set of leaves. Prune this one back to here. And I think this tree is pruned up. Well, that's a funny branch. I'm gonna take it off right here and hope this grows in this direction. I'm getting some nice, very fine twigging. What are you barking at, Luca? Take the top off of that. Just the tip. All right, I think that has that tree all pruned up. This tree's all pruned up. Oh, I got something crossing here I don't really like. I'm going to shorten it. I've kept this little branch down here. I think I'm going to get rid of that. I'll say, okay, so I've got 3 trees pruned up. Oh, I did say I was going to go into fast motion, didn't I? Well, why don't I do that? All right, so here's my Central Park landscape all pruned up. There's some large plants growing in the planter that I should pull out in favor of the smaller ones. I think I've mentioned I'm not sure what these are all going to be. I'm encouraging growth here. But I've got to watch it. That all looks pretty good. This is still a little complicated in here. Let me see if I can clear out some of the clutter. The branch going to the inside. Some leaf clutter. A couple of errant leaves. I left some of the yellow leaves. I'm going to take them all out. They'll fall off. All right, so the next pruning of this will be probably after all the leaves fall off. Let me take this back a little. And I'm going to keep this in a mostly shady spot for the rest of the season. All right, I hope you like my Central Park landscape. Let me just give it a spray with water And one more time around. Okay. Still looks pretty good if you ask me. All right, that's got my Central Park landscape pruned up nicely. Thank you for keeping me company in my backyard.